Hello, everyone. My name is Rami Borno, and I'm one of the pre-dentistry coordinators for the conference. Thank you for coming out today, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our first admissions panel. This question is for Dr. Capurro. When you see a primary application packet that contains below average DAT and GPA scores, are you looking for, in the rest of the application, to invite them to receive a secondary?
Okay, so at UNLV, we invite everybody to submit their supplemental application with their ADSES application. Is that what you're asking? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can we have everyone, I forgot this, everyone introduce themselves? Thank you. Yeah.
Do you want me to start?
Go ahead, yeah.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Andrews, and I'm the Assistant Academic Dean at Western University of Health Sciences in Pomona, California, the newest dental school in California. I'm not Midwestern, somebody asked me that earlier. Western University. We are graduated our first class, and our focus is really community-driven, with really making sure we have great general dentists that come out of our program. So welcome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Antonina Capurro. I'm from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas School of Dental Medicine, and our school was founded to serve the citizens of Nevada. So our focus is community outreach, and we're committed to graduating clinically excellent ethical dentists through our integrated curriculum.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Stan Constantino. I'm with the Office of Admissions at the University of the Pacific School of Dentistry in San Francisco, the only 3-year program in the nation. We're opening up a new facility within the next few months, and one of our hallmarks is the humanistic model of education. So thanks for having us.
Hello, I'm Dr. Dunham. I'm from Boston University Dental School, graduate dental medicine. I'm the Director of Diversity and Multicultural Affairs. I work between admissions and the Student Affairs Office. We're celebrating our 50th year. So we're a young school. We're looking for people like yourselves to be involved with us, our growth.
I'm Naty Lopez from the University of Minnesota School of Dentistry. We are an older school. We're celebrating our 125th anniversary this year. I'm the Assistant Dean for Admissions and Diversity, and also Associate Professor in Dental Public Health. Minnesota is known for, I think, 3 things. One is that we are a very strong community orientation. We do support rural practice, and our students go on community outreaches as part of the curriculum. We're also known for student research, very strong student research program, and as well as preparing general dentists and specialists.
All right, so my name is Mark Mitchell, and I'm the Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs at the Oregon Health and Science University School of Dentistry, just about 600 miles north of here. What do you guys need to know about us? We've been around for over 110 years. Next year, like UOP, we're moving into a brand new facility. We're really excited about it. It will allow us to move forward with our interprofessional education model with our School of Medicine, which will also be sharing the same building. School of Pharmacy, and I think our PA program. I should know this, so I shouldn't say I think, but thank you for having us here.
Good morning. My name is Ken Sigler. I'm with the Ohio State University College of Dentistry. I am the Associate Director in Admissions. I'm also the Director of our DentPath program, which is our Postbaccalaureate program. We're the only dental school in Ohio, public dental school in Ohio, so we do have a mission to serve the residents of Ohio, so about 80% of each class that we bring in is going to be from the state of Ohio. We're located in Columbus, right on the main campus of Ohio State, and glad to be here this morning. Thank you.
Okay. This question is for Dr. Lopez. Can you give us an example of a standout applicant?
I don't think there's a specific model for a standout applicant. I can think of 2 very different type of applicant. One is somebody who has gone through a community college and then went to an undergraduate college. Didn't do very well, But in the meantime, while preparing for reapplication, did a lot of community work, a lot of service to a rural area because she comes from a very rural area, did outreach work with community organizations, and took some upper science courses and applied. And wowed the committee because of what she has done and showed an upward trend in terms of our academic achievement. The other applicant is one who did research in undergrad, did a lot of community outreach as well, a lot of leadership, and actually she's here in this meeting today, so you can come and talk to her. Did a lot of outreach to disadvantaged high school students, so has a heart for community. And I think both applicants, although on two extremes of the academic achievement, showed real strong academic strength and as well, academic abilities as well as strong community outreach. Because we look for people who want to serve, not just, I guess I can say, an applicant with both brains and heart.
Okay. Mr. Mitchell, what steps should a pre-dental student take to make up for a bad quarter or semester?
Okay, so this is always a hard question to answer without looking at an applicant's entire portfolio. So I guess it depends on where these bad terms happen, if they're spread out, if they're all, like right back to back, right after one right after the other. It depends on the courses that a student is not doing well in. So, for example, if it's just a random assignment of courses that you're not doing well in, that's different than if you're doing poorly in just your science courses. So I guess what you need to do, hopefully this happens at the beginning of your 4-year undergraduate curriculum, because then you can make up for it. I mean, that's logical. But what you need to do if it's in the middle or towards the end is you just need to finish out strong. And if you need to stick around a few terms to take some additional science courses to prove to us that you can handle the full-time basic science course load that I think we're all hoping to see from you, and make up for those 2 terms of deficiencies, then you should be okay. But again, it depends on all of your individual situations.
This next question is for Dr. Dunham. How much of an impact are research and extracurricular activities on an application?
Students that have a strong background in research are looked upon, quite favorably because we're heavy into research, but we're also, very big on turning out clinicians. So if you don't have a strong background in research, it's not a negative for us. We really, we're very much involved with community service. And the thing I like about BU is the fact that we do turn out very strong clinicians. You start being in the clinics, and treating patients in the first year. And that's something that a lot of schools are more moving towards. So you get a lot of training throughout your 4 years. I graduated from that program, the D.M.D. program back in '83. So I've been involved with the school on some level. I've also been involved with private practice. So I see how the school has evolved and how we really look at all different aspects of dental training, research, clinical, and we also look at just how a person thinks. That's more important than coming in with a strong background in research. We're really looking for people that can think on their feet, that are critical thinkers, that are committed to lifelong learning, and also service. So I think those kind of attributes are even more important than having a strong background in research. So don't let that be an inhibitor if you don't have a strong research background.
Okay, so for Mr. Constantino, what are some common errors seen on applications or pet peeves of application officers that should be avoided?
Maybe I shouldn't be the one answering this, but so in my personal opinion, definitely grammatical errors are a huge problem, especially when you're reading the personal statement or even when you're listing extracurricular activities. Also those cookie cutter type of statements, personal statements where you read thousands and hundreds of the same thing over and over again. Also, another pet peeve that we recently ran into was listing an ethnicity that you obviously aren't, especially because we go to these fairs and we meet all these applicants, and when you're not a particular ethnicity and we know who you are, then why list it, right? So those are just maybe some of the things.
Would any other speakers like to add on?
I'll say something about that too. In your supplemental application, to add on to being neat, if you can type it, that's also a plus. We get a lot of applications that are handwritten. They look like they're in hieroglyphics, and it kind of gives us that perspective that the student maybe doesn't care about their work, or maybe they were kind of rushed in the application, maybe it's not that important to them. So really take the time to give yourself a good supplemental application, nice and typed, good professional photo if they ask for it. Go through your essay, have somebody reread it. Try not to be too sensational with your essay. I think students try to, because we read so many essays, they want it to stand out, and sometimes it's overdone and it kind of loses the point.
And just remembering what you include in the application, because there's some people who forgot an award that they won, or a research project that they've participated in. When asked during an interview, the applicant or interview is a little clueless. So just remember what you guys list on the application.
The thing is, check your spelling. There's no excuse to submit an essay with spelling errors, and also your grammar. It stands out. It shows that you have not really written your essay thoughtfully and reflectively. So.
And I'll just add to this, and just to kind of summarize, attention to detail, because you guys want to enter a profession where we measure everything to the millimeter, right? So you have people that are reviewing your applications that expect perfection. So just make sure that, again, you pay attention to detail so that you have happy admissions officers reading your application.
Okay. This next question is for Dr. Andrews. How does the school that you attended as an undergraduate affect your application?
You know, it's a good question. People will ask that because we can't know how difficult one university is over the next. We know some of the general sense. Maybe a UC Berkeley class might be a little bit different than a community school. So we look at that, but we really look at the big picture. We look at all the pieces of who you are. That's what we're talking about is presenting yourself in the best light. So we want to be able to know that you can make progress, you can handle a heavy, rigorous curriculum like you will in dental school. We also want to see that you're a leader. So maybe at the community college or wherever you were a leader. Just put all those pieces down on your application so we know you. If you make things up, you might get found out in an interview, number one, because you can't answer to it. But we really want you to put yourself on the paper so we can see a piece of you that stands out. So it's not just a personal statement, it's all those pieces. And it's not necessarily you're at UC versus a Cal State. Because we want diversity, and we know that you go where it's best for you when you choose to go to college, okay? Everybody has a different situation. It might be you have to go to a community college based on finances. That's okay. Just show us that you can handle the curriculum, that you make progress, and you can handle a rigorous semester or two of basic sciences. So that's really the key, is a well-rounded application.
So this is for Mr. Sigler. How much emphasis is placed on manual dexterity in the application?
I would say quite a bit. We put a lot of emphasis on the PAT score, on the hand-eye coordination, the manual dexterity piece. So one of the philosophies that we have in our admissions office is trying to advise students of how to submit a good competitive application and how to prepare. So we do advise applicants before the application deadline. And one of the things that we are constantly telling students to do is to use all those 1 credit hour elective classes that you get to take to do something with your hands. Maybe it's a ceramics class, maybe it's guitar lessons, whatever it may be, but something so that you're continually working on them. At Ohio State, we have a pretty big engineering program, and we have partnered with an instructor in our engineering program, and there's a spatial engineering course, a 1 credit hour class that was designed for pre-dental students, and so we send a lot of our students to that class as well, and they rave about it, and all those that didn't take it before they took the DAT wish they would have, because they felt like it was perfect preparation for that PAT portion. So those are just a few of the things that we do.
May I add something to that?
Yeah.
I've been recommending that students keep what I call a portfolio in addition to their application. And in a portfolio, you could put things like artwork that you've done or projects that exemplify your hand-to-eye coordination. And when you come in for an interview, you can just have that with you. And throughout the course of the conversation, you maybe can have the opportunity to show some of that to whoever's interviewing you. And also kind of helps you to keep track of yourself as you progress. I think it's a good habit to get into early on in your career. It's something I've been doing recently, and I find it very helpful when I evaluate myself at the end of the year. I have things like, what did I really do throughout this year? I know I've been busy, but when I have these things in my portfolio, I can just pull it out and just kind of collect my thoughts a little bit easier.
Dr. Capurro, can you please briefly describe what a postbac program is and when an applicant should consider enrolling in one?
So a lot of times we'll get applicants who maybe they're at the end of their college career and their GPA is still low. Maybe they majored in something other than the sciences, and they're trying to show them that they have a competitive edge. And so at that point, we would advise them to consider a postbac program, maybe a master's program in a science field, so they can take some upper division science courses and show their proficiency, that they can handle the strenuous course loads that they're going to have in dental school.
Would anyone like to add on?
Yeah, for our particular post-baccalaureate program, we require first that all students have gone through the ADSES application process. They have submitted the OSU supplemental application and have not been selected for direct admission, and then we begin the process evaluating for our DentPath program. So it usually starts late October, early November. You need to be invited to apply, but we have a one-year program, non-degree seeking, where we're kind of working on honing your strengths, but also identifying some of those weaknesses that are going to make you more successful for dental school.
At Western, we have a master's in medical sciences as well that will help a student prepare, and they take very similar courses to what they would take within the dental school program, like an intensive anatomy course, some molecular biology courses. So you want to look, when you're looking, if you need to do that, when you look at your application, you say, I do have a weakness here. You want to recognize that, because that's a key thing. Don't keep giving an application again and again, reapplying without truly looking at yourself. So maybe you are the ideal candidate to do a postbac, but try to choose it well. Just doing a few classes isn't always enough. So look, for a master's in science or some type of a postbac that's a more formal postbac that's going to help you, because you don't want to just be spinning your wheels. You want to make sure you're really doing something that's going to help you get into school and make that next step and grow.
And then I would also add to that, when you are in your master's program, if you're taking those classes, a lot of times if you've had a very weak background, we'd like to see you finish that program before you are admitted to dental school. A lot of times students will show on their ADSES application that they're going to be taking classes and they want to get into dental school, but we really need to see that you've successfully completed those postbac courses.
Also, I would mention that you guys don't go at this alone if you need to reapply or you're considering postbac programs. A lot of applicants, make a judgment on what their weaknesses are, which in some cases are pretty obvious, but consult admissions officers or your pre-health advisor, or call all the dental schools you apply to and see what advice that they give you before making a decision as to your next step. Because we see a lot of applicants, and I heard spinning your wheels, they can waste a year or two just trying to figure out what they need to do the right thing to be a competitive candidate, taking the wrong courses, all sorts of things that you guys do. So just make sure you consult with your pre-health advisor or admissions officers at the dental schools that you want to apply to or have applied to.
Yeah, I want to re-emphasize that. Talk to us, because we do want to encourage you and help you strengthen your application. And many times applicants just look at it themselves and say, oh, this is where I'm weak. and then they do that and reapply and still miss the mark. So talk to us.
Yes, mentorship is so important at this stage of your life and throughout your career, and I don't think we can emphasize that enough. None of us want you to, we all want to see you succeed no matter what school is being represented here. So just keep that in mind, and as everyone else has said so far, do talk to people in admissions, but make sure you find mentors right now and throughout your career, find peer mentors, find people that you really can open up to and just kind of help, brainstorm and, move from one step of your career to the next.
Okay, we have another question for Mr. Constantino. How does your school prepare students to handle the business aspects of dentistry?
Well, as part of our curriculum, and we have a student panel that'll be up, so you guys can definitely ask them. Michael, who is a UC Davis alum, can definitely answer that. But in our curriculum, we have a practice management course where we prepare our students from a business perspective. So I don't have the finer details as far as what the curriculum, because it's evolving time after time, but we do have that as part of a curriculum, presenting a business plan, because majority of our graduates, I would say about 75% go into private practice, so we really emphasize in trying to prepare everyone for private practice once they've graduated.
Dr. Lopez, would you like to add on?
I think most dental schools will offer as part of their curriculum practice management course. We do have seminars with private dentists as well, sometimes sponsored by our students. Then also you are able to shadow in a private practice, and many times dentists will tell you how they operate.
Okay, this next question is for Dr. Andrews. How does your school differ from all the others?
I would say that we all have a typical curriculum that you're going to get no matter where you go. I would say when you're looking at a dental school, look to see if it's a good fit for you. We're looking to see if you're a good fit for us, but we're very community driven. Our students are out in the community from day one, really, in the community. So is that something that you really aspire to and you want to be a part of? I guess that's what you want to look for when you're looking at our school. We're kind of a small, close-knit campus with about 69, 70 students per class year. So if you want that kind of a university or college to go to, it's a great place to really get to know each other and get to know the faculty. We're very open door. So I think when you look at our school and you come on campus, you'll see that everybody's very collegial, and we really do want to be a colleague of yours at the very beginning, from day one till the end, and on graduation as well.
This next question is for Mr. Sigler. How much emphasis does your school put on research during dental school?
I wouldn't say that we put a lot. We obviously have a lot of research. We actually have an oral Ph.D. program in oral biology, but we also are very committed to the practitioner part of it. So I think it's there if you want it. We offer 7 of the ADA recognized specialties in dentistry, so you can stay on. If not, it's an opportunity for you to shadow some of those specialties, observe. We have a dental faculty practice in our dental school where you can do that as well. So it's certainly an option, but it's not something that you have to do. Okay.
It's a plus if you have experience in research. But as I said earlier, one of the strengths of our program is that opportunity for students to do research. On admission, we select about 10 students to do a summer research fellowship. So prior to the start of dental school, you'll be engaged with, you will be doing your own independent study under one research faculty. And that's for 10 weeks prior to the start of dental school. If you want to continue to the second year, so between D1 and D2, you will be able to work with the same professor or work with another one because you saw something more interesting. We also have opportunities for those who were not selected in the first year to apply for the second summer research fellowship. So every year, every summer, we have about 20 to 25 students involved in research. Then we also have a dual degree program, D.D.S. Ph.D. This is going to be very long, but we are keen in preparing future faculty for dental schools. So you can apply for that. It's funded by an NIH grant in the school, so it's tuition free for the whole 8 years. We also have a very active student research group, and they meet monthly. They work on research papers, present their own research, and even invite faculty to discuss what's being done in the school.
Mr. Mitchell, what is the primary trait schools look for in pre-dental students?
There's so many. Definitely being academically prepared, compassion, love of people. That's really important. What else? There's just so many words I could use, single words. They're just not coming to me right now.
Respect.
Oh,
Empathy.
definitely. Yeah, empathy. That's the word. Empathy, with
We all
compassion,
want that.
respect, professionalism. All of those things are really important. You guys can add words too that I can come up with.
For sure.
It's early.
I would say
Make this a
teamwork
tool.
also. Teamwork is also very important because our students were in small seminar groups, and as our students will tell you in the upcoming panel, that you're working with so many other different students from different backgrounds as well as patients once you're down in the clinic. So I would say being able to work in a group with people who aren't similar to you is definitely a plus.
And being a leader is really key too. If you're in your pre-health or pre-dental club and have created a new project or something like that, put that out there on your application. We want to know that you have those leadership capabilities because you're going to be the leader in your office as a private practitioner. As part of that team, you're going to be leading that team. So that's really important that you put that down too.
This is for Dr. Dunham. Why is dentistry a fulfilling career?
I'd say if I had the chance to do dentistry again, if I were sitting where you are right now, I would do it again. So that says a lot for how strongly I do feel about dentistry. I think it's so fulfilling for many reasons. For me, it gave me a chance to use my hands, to use a science background, to have an intimate relationship with people, which I enjoy an awful lot. And I'm in private practice, and in addition to being at the dental school. And one of the things I enjoy the most about it is what patients have taught me. Being a director of diversity and multicultural affairs has given me, I think my whole career has evolved in such a way that I'm suited for this position, because if I wasn't a dentist, I'd be an anthropologist. I really love the interaction with people and growing from what they can teach me. And dentistry is one of those professions where you can learn so much from your patients if you're open to doing that. And just realize, okay, you know a lot about dentistry, but at the same time, each one of those patients that come to you, they have a life experience that they can offer to you if you're open to them and humble enough and unassuming enough to be, position yourself in a way to hear them. And dentistry gives us an opportunity to do that, unlike many other professions, because some other professions, you don't have that immediate relationship with the person that you're serving and also who is rewarding you with a, benefiting your life so you can earn a living. So that's it for me. I don't know. I'm open to some questions from anybody about it.
Okay, this next question is for Mr. Constantino. Can you please explain the structure of your dental school curriculum being a 3-year program?
So we're the only 3-year program. So all I can tell you is it's fast, it's accelerated. So just to give you an overview of the 3 years, your first year is probably the toughest. So anywhere from, I would say, 21 to 28 units, or probably even more now, every quarter. So not only do you have clinical work, you also have your basic sciences, and also in the very first week, you're in the sim lab with the handpiece. So and then your second year, you're already in the clinic with live patients. So we say that you're a half-time dentist, or you're in the clinic with patients half day. Of course, you still have your clinical and you have your didactics also in the morning. And then in your third year, full-time dentist. Most of your work is down in the clinic. We also have your practice management course, some other basic sciences, and jurisprudence is also in there. We're year-round, start in July, end in June. Our breaks range anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks. So none of this 3-6-month break, summer break for y'all, I'm sorry. But in a nutshell, that's our program. But on top of that, there's also extramural clinics. We do rotations throughout the Bay Area. I was talking to Dr. Wong, one of our faculty members here. They also do these mission trips internationally. They just got back from one a few weeks ago from during their 1 week break. So yeah, they managed to squeeze it all in 3 years.
And then can I have each panelist answer this question? Is there any final advice you would like to give to applicants? We'll start with Dr. Andrews.
Sure. I think plan ahead. Think about, where do you want to go to school? Where would be your ideal location that you'd want to go to school? Look and see what the requirements are. Plan out along the way. I'm going to need to have a professor's letter. I need to do my shadowing. How am I going to get that done in these years as I go forward? Or if you're a little bit farther along, take the things you've done and start to write them up and really have yourself ready to go. When you actually apply, you want to be ready to apply so that you have all the pieces of the puzzle there. Apply earlier in the cycle. That gives you the better chance of being accepted in for an interview. Just put yourself on the paper as best you can and representing all components of who you are. Because we know you're multifactorial. Don't just, aren't just looking at your academics. We want to know that you know the profession, that you've done some outreach. All those pieces are important, but emphasize your strong points. Really let us know.
Yeah, so I would say that's really, really key is to apply early. You don't want to be applying in December when most of the interviews have already taken place. We'll start sending out acceptances in December, the first week of December. So you want to apply early. You want to interview early. And then I would say really research the schools that you want to attend. Really find out what your strengths are and why you'd be a good fit for that school. Don't just apply to every dental school in the country. Be smart about where you're going to put that money and where you want to apply. The other thing I'd say, again, keep everything nice and neat in your application. When you come to the interview, be prepared to discuss those things that you've put in your essay, all the different components of who you are as an applicant, who you are as a person, and why you'd really be a good fit for dentistry. And then, they had something else to tell you. There's so many things to say to be prepared. I guess lastly, I'd just say, if you've even had challenges in your background and you think you're not a strong applicant, don't think that's going to be a hindrance. Don't think that we're sitting there judging you and thinking, well, this person won't be a good dentist. That really can be a strength to you to show your determination, that you're not only passionate about dentistry, but you also have that drive that's going to keep you going in dental school when you have all those heavy course loads and you're tired. That's what's going to get you through to the end to become a dentist.
I would say, just to piggyback on what everyone is saying, apply early, finish strong academically. We look at the last 2 years or last few years of instruction in your coursework just to see the positive trend. Perform well on the DAT, because although this is definitely obviously a science-based profession, we just want to make sure that you guys are prepared from an academic standpoint, because the curriculum is very, very tough. We just want to make sure that you guys are set up for success in the program. I would say make yourself a more well-rounded applicant without it affecting your academics, and also just keep your options open. We hear it all the time, you're my number one choice, you're my number one choice, I want to go to you, I want to go to you, I want to go to you. But sometimes it doesn't work out. So you just want to make sure that you remember what your ultimate goal is to become a dentist, and just don't limit yourself to just one school.
I'm on board with everything that's been said so far. I just would like to emphasize how important it is to persevere. One of the things that was mentioned that I'm a strong believer in, if you've had some difficulty, don't beat yourself up too much about that. Be able to forgive yourself, be self-evaluating, and oftentimes look more favorably at someone who's overcome some difficulties rather than someone who's never had any difficulties. Because when you've overcome some things, it lets me know that you know how to do that. Be a good time manager, and just develop those skills early on, right now, so you're constantly, evaluating yourself. Give yourself time to reflect. And so you kind of you go back and you keep doing better each step along the way, starting now and throughout your careers.
Be a well-rounded applicant. It's not enough that you get good grades. And if you don't get good grades at the beginning, show us that you're doing better. That's the head. Work on your heart as well. We want people who want to serve, those who are committed to community, those who really care, and not just go for dentistry because it's a high-paying job or you are your own boss. You know, those are the traditional benefits of being a dentist. But we want those who are willing to give back to the community. And then, of course, work with your hands. It's really what has been said. Take everything, do everything you can do to sharpen your hand-eye coordination and crafts and arts, etc. But also show us that you are determined to do this. Persevere. You may not make it the first time, but keep trying and apply to as many schools as possible because you never know where you'll fit because schools have their own personality and you need to match that personality of the school.
So I don't have much to add because you guys pretty much summarized it all, but I would like to go with planning. I think that's so important, especially in our situation being in Oregon. 90% of our applicants are from out of state, and California, the great state of California, provides us with 25% of our applications. The Oregonian pool is only 10%. But the thing is, you guys are applying to, of course, California schools, and you might not necessarily, you know, Oregon is close, and you tick us down on your application, but when you guys apply, you guys are missing the majority of the stuff that we're looking for because you didn't plan. So I would say that probably 50% of the 300 of you don't have what we need. So it's important that when you are preparing to apply, again, plan. You know, make a spreadsheet of all the schools that you're applying to and what types of letters they want and what courses they want and how many hours of observation they want, all that kind of stuff, so that you're prepared and you have that stuff done, preferably before you apply. Okay, so that's really all I have to add.
I don't know that anything's been left out, so I'll just emphasize applying early. Early is best. And also, I think this was mentioned earlier too, to use us as resources. So again, don't go about this in the dark. Contact our collective admissions offices and find out exactly what you need. See if there's a way that you can get in and talk to us. Maybe it just be a phone appointment, but that communication is big because it also means that if not a face, we at least have a voice with the application. So use us as resources.
That's the end of our first panel. Let's give a round of applause for these amazing speakers.